So during the Raccoon City incident that happens around the timeline of Resident Evil 2 and 3, we saw a plethora of Tyrants roam around and show off their overall abilities. But in the Resident Evil series, there has been so much more to these monsters throughout the years. But one of the more intimidating versions of this monster was seen in Resident Evil Outbreak, where this monster was actually a subspecies of the T-103 model Tyrants that we saw from Resident Evil 2. The monster that I'm talking about here is called Tyrant R. So in this video, we'll quickly cover this monster and see what its overall characteristics are and why it was so formidable. Anyways, before we do get started with the video, I just want to say my name is DeVuH, and I do cover a lot of Resident Evil and Last of Us content on my channel, so if you guys are interested in those types of videos, then please feel free to like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this in the future, and also possibly adding me on Instagram, which you can personally message me at any time. Anyway, so like I mentioned earlier, Tyrant R is a subspecies to the T-103 model Tyrants that we saw from Resident Evil 2, which was better known as Mr. X. But in this case, Tyrant R was modified both genetically and physically to be a more enhanced version of the base T-103 models. Even some have stated that it was developed to rival our favorite Tyrant from Resident Evil 3, Nemesis, because its intelligence and physical attributes has shown to be very versatile. But before we get into his physical attributes, let's go ahead and cover why it was created this way and how it came to be in the Resident Evil universe. So Tyrant R was introduced to us in Resident Evil Outbreak, which happens right in the middle of the Raccoon City incident, with the many zombies and other BOWs roaming around. It made it almost impossible for the remaining survivors to escape, especially with one of the more advanced BOWs called Hunters attacking anyone on sight, which they were these scaled reptile-like creatures who stood almost to regular human height, with his razor-sharp claws and teeth at full display. It made it easy for them to take down their prey. Also with these hunters, they usually attacked in packs, and are known to be one of the more intelligent experimental products of the Umbrella Corporation. Also, these creatures were able to be mass-produced, and was shown to have some variations among them, which leads them to having their own subspecies called Hunter R, which now correlates back to Tyrant R, because initially this model was created to combat the higher level of hunters, and the Umbrella Corporation was supposed to gather as much data from these types of encounters. So in the midst of the Raccoon City outbreak, Tyrant R was released and programmed to attack the hunters, allowing the survivors to have a chance to escape, which this programmable aspect is very well known within the Tyrant development, allowing said users to give commanding orders for the Tyrants to accomplish, whether they're used to eliminate single or groups of people, to retrieving viral samples like Mr. X wanted to do in Resident Evil 2.
Sucker.
So in Tyrant R's case, he was programmed to help rid of all the hunters in his way, but in a classic turn of events, we see it have self-awareness and attacks the remaining survivors, which alludes to his higher intelligence compared to his other Tyrant brethren. Also, his overall physical characteristics is still very similar to the T-103 models that we've seen so far, where we see his hulking stature and wearing their famous trenchcoat limiter. Also, no fedora like Mr. X. Anyways, like his T-103 model brothers, this Tyrant can mutate out of his trench coat and turn into a super Tyrant like shown here. But this version of a super Tyrant is much more menacing in appearance, with his body covered in rock-like substances, which allows it to take much more damage. Also, it allows it to even withstand rocket launcher shots, and this overall rock-like armor came into fruition due to its additional experimental aspects compared to the base T-103 model. Also, both of his arms mutated to have enlarged claws, similar to Mr. X in the classic Resident Evil 2. Also, the speed that this Tyrant shows off is very similar to the Mr. X's version in Chronicles, where he's able to sprint towards us and be able to leap from place to place with ease, which is outstanding, especially with his rock-like armor. Anyways, going back to our discussion with the hunters, it's easy to see that these Tyrants would have easily rid of these reptilian BOWs, and seeing Tyrant R be the enhanced version of the T-103 models is something that needs to be recognized, and could be in the conversation as being one of the most powerful Tyrants to have ever been created. Anyways, what do you guys think about Tyrant R, and what was your favorite aspect about it? Please let me know and why on the comment section down below. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video, then please feel free to hit that notification bell icon so you guys can be alerted when I upload my next video. Anyways, thank you guys very much, and as always, you guys have a great rest of your day, and this is DeVuH signing out.